The following is a special presentation of KDOW. Money Pulse. Monitoring the heartbeat of money. From Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. Now here's your host, Dynasti Young.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Money Pulse here on KDOW. This is Dynasti, your host. I am so excited today. I don't just have one amazing guest. I have two. We have Tim Menard here, CEO of LYT. That was LYT for those of you following along. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate seeing you again.
It's great to be back and see you again, too.
Also, it's a pleasure. I live in San Jose here, so it's extra special. Mayor Matt Mahan, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, you've been up to a lot of stuff on social. I saw your Halloween costumes. Those were so cute, you and your family. And you've also been doing a lot of AI stuff and, cleaning up thank you for all your service and everything you've been doing in the city. I know everybody appreciates it very much.
Well, that's nice of you to say, and it's a big team effort. We've got a lot of great people both at City Hall and out in the community helping us, but we are feeling like we're making some progress. And part of it's about technology and innovation, which I know we're going to talk about today.
Right. So let's just jump on into it right now. You have been one of the mayors that I've noticed that have been super adaptive to this space of technology and just embracing it. So for those of you who don't remember what Tim Menard's, LYT AI is all about, Tim, will you give us a quick just overview of your technology so then we can dive into some specifics?
Happy to. So City of San Jose is using LYT's cloud technology to prioritize the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority buses. So what that means is we're using technology from the buses, we're using the traffic lights, and we're gluing them together to better communicate with each other so that all of you who are riding the bus can get to where you're going faster. And it's made significant travel time improvements for those folks. And if we're going to convince the rest of you in a car to try the bus, we got to definitely give you a competitive option to travel here. So yeah, using artificial intelligence and machine learning to learn how traffic and bus stop usage patterns are affecting bus travel so that we could speed buses up by giving them less red lights and more green lights through traffic.
Thank you, Tim. So that brings me to Mayor Matt Mahan here in San Jose, who's adapted some of this technology into, you said VTA, right?
Mm-hmm. So
tell us, what was the problem you were facing? Why did you decide to go this route? And how is it looking now?
Well, I'm to zoom out for a second, I'm a big believer in applying new tools, and they're not always going to work. In this case with LYT, it's been working great, but always looking to optimize our service delivery. So the problem you could define as slow commutes, congestion, and insufficient ridership on mass transit systems that we're all paying for, and could be doing a lot more good in terms of reducing congestion and pollution. And the way to get more people to ride transit is to make it better, make it more convenient, make it faster. And that's what we're able to do with LYT's technology. And it's a partnership with LYT, with the city, with our transit authority that, as Tim was describing, creates this network, this smarter city where the buses and the red light signals are talking to one another, and it's dynamic. It's very elegant. I'm really impressed with what LYT has done, because it's not kind of the old form of light synchronization for a fire engine back in the day where you just have a sea of green lights and then everybody else is held up waiting. It's just very subtle, dynamic, not a lot of impact on cross traffic or others, but it just reduces the probability of a public bus hitting a red light, but it has huge impact in terms of speeding up overall route times, which means not only do people get a faster commute on public buses in our city, but they also are actually incentivizing the use of a form of transit that has broader societal impacts. Those buses can carry 50, 80 people, and that means fewer single occupancy vehicles, which is actually a win for everybody.
And is that something that San Jose is particularly focusing on? You know, I read something about your transit first policies and how does that apply to this whole scenario?
Yeah, I mean, transit's definitely a priority. One of many. We have a set of focus areas that include a wide range of things: housing affordability, public safety, economic opportunity. The way I look at it, though, is we want to find the best innovation that can enable us to improve an outcome for our community where the city has some authority and some ability to actually work on a problem. And we're not just focused on transit, though that has turned out to be a great use case, but we helped found something called the GovAI Coalition, where we're now convening over 900 public agencies, mostly cities and counties from across the country, sharing our best practices around AI pilots. And the city of San Jose is running dozens of AI pilots. We're trying to use artificial intelligence to automate, personalize, make more, efficient and responsive the entire suite of city services. We say we do A to Z, from running an airport to having a small zoo at Happy Hollow. Everything, all of our lines of business can be made more efficient by using artificial intelligence.
What's really revolutionary here, and what we all as citizens of San Jose are experiencing right now, is not just a city, but our different public sector services that are moving now faster than they ever have been able to before. I think that for the last, you could say for the last several decades, right, everybody has saw this government as being very slow to move, not really getting after things. AI is great, right? And it gets layered on top of technology. And what technology is really allowing everybody to do is rethink process and procedures. And to hear what the mayor is saying is how they are bringing others in and being a full demonstration city. But last but not least is just to put some numbers behind all of this, is that on Halloween, the city finished up prioritizing their last few routes with the VTA, and they have now completed in 18 months 26 bus route prioritization projects on behalf of the citizens. If you look at what this would have taken in any other project in history, what they did in 18 months would have taken them 92 years.
I love that. Thank you for that.
And now we have 550 bus miles of travel that are now being prioritized. So it's huge.
Are we seeing any more people using the VTA system, or is this something that just kind of not everyone knows yet, that this is, your bus isn't going to be late. Your bus isn't going to keep you from getting from point A to point B. Have we seen any increase on riders?
If I could speak just on behalf of the VTA, that now that this has come to a completion, now it is time to enter kind of the marketing phase. So it has not been fully marketed yet, and that's going to come out shortly. If you'd like to add to that, Matt.
Yeah, awesome. Tim is right about that. I'll just add a couple of other things, which is that our public systems are complicated, and we have to think about them holistically. This is an opportunity to offer a better product. We also have to look at some of the other barriers that may still turn people away from transit. And so I'm focused on some of the most basic. Are all of our stations and bus stops and vehicles themselves as safe and clean as they can possibly be? Because that's a major consideration for a lot of our riders. Are you going to ride alone at night? Well, we hope the answer is yes, but we need to make sure you feel comfortable doing that. The other thing we need to work on, that this particular technology isn't geared toward, but it plays a really important part, is how do we better address those last mile barriers? We still know that for a lot of our residents, it's that first leg to get to transit, or it's that last leg to get to your destination that becomes a barrier. And we are investing through VTA. I'm the vice chair of the board of the Valley Transit Authority. We're making other investments in safe and clean initiatives, as well as new micro mobility solutions for last mile, which can be small shuttles. They can be embracing e-bikes and scooters, but we need to get creative about helping people use this system. But it sure helps that it's a lot faster and more reliable now.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you make a great point. We want to make sure that the bus stops are pristine and they're safe and the lights are on, so that's a great thing to know that you're working on it. And you, like I said, I'm just really happy with the work that you have done here. And it's really speaking through partnering with, LYT. Yeah, this is a great conversation. There's so much more to dive into. So we're just going to keep on going here. If you're just tuning in, the Money Pulse here, Dynasti Young, your host, and I have Tim Menard from LYT AI, and I have San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. We're discussing some of the adaptations and adoptions he's made in the city, and a lot of that has to do with technology that we were all very, very hesitant of, and now it's really just a part of our life, and it's improving things for however many years it would have taken before to 18 months. I mean, that's incredible. What other community projects do you have going forward? Just now that we're on the topic of a better San Jose, do you have anything else that you are working on that's kind of your baby or something that you're really proud of right now? Because I know you have so many things going on.
There's a lot we're doing. I'll try to touch on a few that I think are really promising. I will say that LYT and the work Tim's doing is probably the one that we have taken to the fullest deployment in the last couple of years and is at the greatest scale in terms of the breadth of the deployment and the impact in a positive way. But there are some other really promising AI pilots right behind what we've done with LYT. And I'll be interested to hear what Tim is thinking about next from their perspective, just when it comes to mobility. But to highlight a few, one that has also been relatively low-hanging fruit that is also deployed pretty broadly is language translation. Just a year ago, we were using our precious public dollars to pay interpreters just in two languages, typically Spanish and Vietnamese, two of our largest linguistic groups here in the city. And, the translators were great, but they were expensive. They weren't always available. We could really only afford to do them for large meetings. And we left out everybody else for the dozens of other languages spoken in our city. Now, in real time, with a device and a QR code, you can be speaking in your language, and I can be speaking in mine in any public meeting in the city. And in dozens of languages, we have seamless communication between us verbally speaking and it being automatically translated on each other's respective devices.
We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break here. Don't go anywhere. We are here with Tim Menard from LYT and San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. We'll be right back.
Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet. You're listening to Money Pulse on AM 1220 KDOW.
And welcome back to the Money Pulse. Thank you so much for tuning in or staying tuned in. I'm here with Tim Menard from LYT and Mayor of San Jose, Matt Mahan. And we were just talking about some translation technology that the mayor has brought into the city that has been very helpful as he's brought in a lot of AI to the city and has embraced it. So Mayor Mahan, if you want to continue telling us the benefits and what you've seen with the technology.
So it's better, faster, cheaper at greater scale, greater diversity and choice for people. It's kind of amazing. So that's a great one in terms of inclusivity. Really important in a city as diverse as San Jose, where 40% of our residents are foreign born. Object detection is an area where the city has really pushed the envelope, and I'm very proud of what we've done. We are putting low-cost cameras on city vehicles and then training a on-street condition model to basically make sense of what the camera's recording. So we don't do facial recognition, to Tim's point about privacy and our protocols. What we can do, though, is now 97% accuracy identifying the formation of a pothole that we can go repair before it damages people's vehicles. With not quite as high, but growing accuracy, we can identify graffiti, illegal dumping, streetlights that are out, abandoned vehicles, lived-in vehicles. All of those are opportunities for us to deploy a service faster and more accurately and not have to wait for it to become such an inconvenience or impact that somebody gets angry and calls 311 and then we're like scrambling to figure out what's going on. So that's a big one. And the last one I'll just share very briefly is I'm really excited about the potential for streamlining permitting and procurement. And on permitting, we're testing an AI. You can think of it kind of like a co-pilot in the form, in the application, for people who are submitting an application to build an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, which, believe it or not, now 22% of all new housing production in the city of San Jose, over 1 out of 5 new homes, is an ADU, a backyard cottage. And we found that over 90% of the initial applications were returned for missing or incomplete information. But now with an AI copilot, we can catch it before they hit submit and guide them to actually submit a completed form, which saves everybody time and effort and a huge headache. And there's just so many cool applications.
Wow. Yes. And I know that person, and people were frustrated because they couldn't get their permitting on time. And yeah, you have to take into account the application does have to be filled out appropriately and fully. So wow, that's awesome addition. Any thoughts from you, Tim, just to highlight anything you're excited that you heard here?
I mean, permitting is always so important. I mean, that's the difference, right? We have a lot of 96% of San Jose is single family housing. And unfortunately, if you go to look at a lot of the inventory that's on the market that's being for sold, there's a lot of unpermitted work that's been done because of the permitting process. And when you get unpermitted work, you get challenges.
There's problems, right?
And I don't want those challenges pushed to me if I'm going to be a home buyer. And especially, right, with a lot of first-time home buyers, they just don't know, and with how competitive the market's gotten here. So, and then also having known families that have had to leave San Jose because they had purchased land with the hopes of trying to develop South San Jose and, just could never get it started. Or by the time it would have drained them financially in their retirement. So it's a monster challenge, and all these things are all intertwined, right? Because every time one big major brain share task gets done, that frees up to go and tackle the next one. So, that's what I'm most excited about is the amount of talk is becoming executable and iteratable. And that's amazing to be a part of.
Mr. Mayor, we've talked a lot about, technology, and I know a lot of your focuses are about the people. I know that you're very passionate about the people here in San Jose and surrounding regions. Will you kind of address some of your focuses and your thoughts around the people, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I really appreciate the question because as you say, that we often focus on the latest gadget or tool or technology, and that's great and it's important. That's the new capability, but it has to be implemented. It has to be applied and executed and managed and refined. And that's really about human capacity. And so we've tried to take that to heart in San Jose. We're very fortunate to have an incredible public institution across the street from City Hall, our public university, San Jose State. And we've partnered with them to develop an AI upskilling curriculum. We also have a data upskilling curriculum. And so these are essentially multi-week courses that city employees can voluntarily opt into. We've made this aspirational. It's not a top-down, you have to take this training. It's, do you want to improve your skills, learn new tools, make your job more interesting? And we've seen city employees just jump into it. We've already completed 2 cohorts, a total of 80 individuals. We're on our 3rd cohort. We've set a goal of training over 1,000 city employees by the end of 2026. And with the AI upskilling course, they're getting it's kind of a 101. You're getting a baseline and what are the different tools out there. We're mostly focused on the LLM applications for city workers who are dealing with knowledge-based tasks for the most part. So permitting, procurement, finance, HR, grant writing, and on
almost
and on.
everything.
Almost everything. I mean, there's, unfortunately, for better or worse, and Tim mentioned this, there is a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of process, compliance, report writing, public transparency. There's just a lot, the Public Records Act, it's just a lot there. So what we found is just with the first 80 employees who have completed the 10-week AI upskilling course, they have already self-documented over 10,000 hours of saved time versus the exact same tasks the year before. Many of them are identifying that in their discrete job, they are 10 to 20% more productive. They're building custom GPTs to automate elements of the work that they find just to be slow and laborious. And frankly, people are spending a lot of time doing a traditional search and then kind of manually going through a ton of stuff, and they, don't have to do that. My team, I have a little budget office in the mayor's team. We went and took the city's last, half dozen budgets and all the associated documents, loaded them up, and then actually sort of trained this GPT to help us analyze the budget and be able to write a better budget message this year. So, we're kind of slowly upskilling our workforce, giving them tools. And the important message is AI is not here to replace human beings. It really is about enhancing and augmenting the work that we do. We're going to continue to need people. We want them to focus on the higher order, more creative, more human elements of the job where we can add the most value and get the most satisfaction, and then, be more productive and deliver more value for our residents and our taxpayers. So we're proud of the work we're doing, and we're going to keep going.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahan. Thank you. If any city workers are listening to this right now, how can they find more information about that program, about that 10-week program that you have going on?
Yeah, I would go to the website of our IT department, led by Khalid Tawfiq, who's our Chief Information Officer. He's doing an amazing job. And then there's also the Mayor's Office of Technology and Innovation, led by my Chief Innovation Officer, Stephen Keynes, who does amazing work. So that's really a partnership between our office, our IT department, and then in this case, San Jose State University. And you can always reach me, whether you're a city worker or resident, at mayor@sanjoseca.gov if you have questions or thoughts. So we'd be happy to orient folks.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time here and sharing some really exciting things about San Jose City. You're doing a great job, and we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the positive feedback. It really is a team effort, including with you guys, with the rest of the community. So thank you.
Thank you. So Tim, you haven't done too much talking today, so I'd love to kind of have you chime in a little bit here.
Yeah, happy to. We could go back to a couple of things that the mayor brought up.
Please.
It's worth taking the time. The city of San Jose has got a great team, a great staff, and to be able to even achieve such a large amount of work in 18 months really just goes to the mayor's last point about how they have this AI training program. Those 80 have gone through and seen significant advantages, and the Department of Transportation is going through and is seeing their significant advantages, right? Like a 95-year reduction. These are the types of things that are going to transform. Now, unfortunately, right, like building a highway or something like that, that's still going to take 2-3 decades to get planned and project and poured and such like that. But the fact that we are living in a time where we are proving that we no longer have to build new, we can use what we have and just use it better. Mm-hmm. And that's the theme here, right? Another point that he had brought up as well is that a good use of AI is to augment your abilities to do more, not replace the stuff that you have.
And I think you're doing an incredible job. Mayor Matt Mahan is also obviously very impressed with LYT and technology. And Tim Menard, you've been a pleasure, and I don't believe it, but we're already out of time here again. So again, I might want to have you back because there's still more I want to learn about. But I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation with Mayor Matt Mahan. He's the mayor of San Jose. If you didn't know, that's kind of crazy, but I forgive you. And Tim Menard, LYT, CEO of LYT AI. Thank you so much again for joining me. I appreciate it.
This has been Money Pulse, KDOW's financial news magazine, monitoring the heartbeat of money from Wall Street to Main Street to your wallet.